Next, we need to know how to change our data source settings. You do that by clicking on the Transform Data dropdown, and we'll see the data source settings. So it will show us all the data sources that we have in our current file we're working in. Or we can see the global permission, which are basically everything you've ever connected to in Power BI. It stores all those permissions there, so we'll focus on the data source in the current file. We'll see the connection to our server database, so clicking on that, we have the option to clear the permissions, which is basically the step that we had to go through entering in the username and password. We can edit those permissions if you want to connect in a different way. For example, if you want to connect now with a Windows or Microsoft account, we could do it in that way. Instead, we'll leave it with the database. We have the option to set a privacy level, which you can set to none, public, organizational, or private. This is important because if you're bringing in two different data sources and that data should actually never touch, you can set it to private, and basically those data sources will be completely walled off from each other. If we set to organizational, you'll be able to share some data, but not all. Public will allow you to combine and mash up those data sources at your will. So you'll have to choose that based on your project specifics. And then you have a couple of other projects to encrypt connections. And also, if you've approved any native database where you say you're running a specific select statement from a database, you'll be able to revoke your approvals here. If you want to revoke them all, so we'll click OK. And then we also change our source, which you can change your server name or your database in case you want to do that. So there are all options under the data source settings, but they're very important, especially around the privacy level.